can't help it, honey. But you're fine.
Wow, that makes me want to go on vacation, Brian. My goodness.
Everybody needs a little Jimmy Buffett.
I guess so. Dang. Oh, yeah. Hey, Nancy.
Hey, hi, Wes. How are you?
All right. Nice to see you.
Good.
Doing good. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, hi.
How are you?
Good, 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 good. Can't complain. Life is good. So,
Good.
yeah.
I love the picture of you and my mom with all of those gifts. Incredible, Nancy.
Do you know, it's such a feel good experience. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I was selfish with the whole experience for myself.
Another family gained great benefit from your selfishness. So I don't know if in the end it was a selfish act.
Oh, well, I'm sure.
Hey, George. Hey, Glenn. Look at everybody
Wes.
just popping up on the screen. I
Happy
don't know
birthday,
less than
George.
60 seconds ago.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday, George.
Thank you, Bruce. Thanks.
Is today your birthday, George?
How do you guys know? Yes, it is. Thanks, Nancy.
Hey, you have the same birthday as Gail. Today is her birthday, too.
It is.
Birthday twins.
Yes, yes. She might be a few years older than you, though, just a few.
Maybe only 2.
Yeah, somewhere around.
A gentleman does not inquire as to the age of a lady.
No,
No way.
they're ageless.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. Yeah, Mary Jo.
And our speaker, Robert Jameson here. Hey, Robert, thanks for joining us today. How's everyone? Hey, good. Everyone healthy, happy, and had a good week. Nice.
Great
Yep.
week.
Good week. Complaints.
It was MacBook time for me this week. I got a new computer, and I had to return it yesterday. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. I upgraded my MacBook, which is a late 2018 model, to the 2020 new MacBooks with their M1 chip. And I plugged the thing in after I spent 2 hours setting up. I plug it into my dual monitor setup, which you guys could see, like I got 2 monitors going on right here, and plus my computer itself. So I got 3 monitors. I plug it in, and only one of the monitors works. And I start scratching my head, like, what's going on here? I got it plugged in, fiddling with all the words, and then I get frustrated. The website, and I look on the specs, and it says that it only supports one external monitor at all. Couldn't even believe it, because the one I have right now supports. So why would it only support one? Couldn't believe it. Had to return it. I was so disappointed, and now I'm stuck using this old thing.
Did you have to wait in the Apple line? Did you wait?
Thankfully, I did not wait in the line, because they're not allowing lines now. I got to give Apple a lot of credit. The way that they're doing retail right now in the age of COVID is wonderful. All of their retail stores are basically online pickup locations for things, and everything is very, very safe, and the lines move quickly, and they're all spaced out if there is a line at all. So I didn't have to do that. I just ordered it online. It got shipped from China last week, and it was here today or yesterday. So, but that's my story.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, John Selke.
Hi,
How you feeling, Nancy?
into my living room.
Thank you. 100%.
Good.
All right.
Bob Fleischer, nice to see you, my man.
Happy to be here.
Boom.
You hear me okay?
Too well.
Hi, Pat.
All right. Hey, Jack.
Where you going, Daryl?
Oh, jeez, now it goes.
Everyone?
We can hear you, Jack, but we can't
Hello,
see you. Your
Barry.
audio is much better than last time.
Yeah, well, that's because I got a new microphone.
Oh, good. And Schaumburg Rotary, who is that? There you go, Ted. I can see you in great color and
I'd like to welcome a new executive director from Hughes Playhouse. Josh Binder joined us today. Hopefully, I'll tell you more later.
Josh.
Gosh.
Hi, everyone.
thanks for joining us today.
That's all it goes.
it is.
Boy, this group is never this quiet.
Yeah, quiet.
I guess we're running out of things to say.
That's scary.
Hi,
There you go,
Lisa.
Jack.
Hey, Wes.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom.
Wes,
Hey, Holly.
Holly, a lot of people. Okay.
You have a nice birthday, Holly.
I did. Thank you. Yeah.
Do.
Do that. Let me go a little further.
Just leave it.
Yeah, here. Hey, Holly, somebody asked you what you did for your birthday.
Leave it. This is
Fish for lunch, a 90-minute massage,
Ooh,
Chinese for dinner,
Who gave you the
chocolate.
massage?
Mhm.
Yeah, no. Massage envy.
Got a nice crew of people today. Nice crew. Debbie Schmidt. Hey, Debbie. I got to tell you, I want to know who named themselves Schaumburg Rotary. I'm really confused about this. Anyone else got any leads on who Schaumburg Rotary is? Don. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's Don Miner. I heard a Don Miner voice.
You did.
Hey, what's up, Howard?
here's all the people on the call. Okay.
Good to see you, Don.
Well, the audio seems a little shaky today.
yeah, it is. Not this bad. It's usually pretty good.
I can hear you now. You're good. Okay.
Anybody hear from Don Maria? I know he's doing better. He has surgery and
To him on Facebook, and he said he's doing much better. So I was hoping to see him today. Honestly, I thought we might
Yeah.
catch him.
What did he have surgery on?
he had an aneurysm of some type.
Oh my gosh.
Want to say the heart of something? Yeah, serious. It was very serious.
Wow.
He's
Yeah,
doing
it was
good.
in the stomach area,
Was it?
Ooh, that's a bad one.
in the bile ducts. If I remember, when I talked to him once, it was in the bile ducts. something like verticillitis or something like that. Intestines inflaming, and it's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, I know you know, when he was still coming to road, he was talking about how, you know, he always felt something going on with his stomach. Wow.
So, Gene, is that sunshine behind you because you're in Florida or because you're here?
I'm in Florida.
Nice.
It's always sunny, no matter what.
We're jealous, Gene.
It's sunny here in Chicago too.
It's really nice.
It's a nice day here.
Good. Sun is good.
Even though it's
It is nice. Not that cold. It's like 45 degrees.
And Daryl, are you still with us in Chicago or did you go to the land of heat? Too bad.
Yeah. Oh.
So your grandkids are in your bubble?
Is anyone else having trouble with the audio on this?
Awesome.
I am too. It's coming in a little bit
Oh,
rough
great
today.
job.
Yeah,
I'm so
very-
proud of you.
very garbage.
Okay, I'm gonna go to my meeting now, okay? Okay. I love you. I love you too. Great job. Oh, it's my, oh, sorry, my water. You wanna hand it to me?
The intermittent audio issues that we've had a couple of times today, guys. Sounds like a couple of us are having some issues, so hopefully it won't be that bad once we're all going here. So my apologies.
Oh, you're coming
I
through loud
have-
and clear, Wes.
I have delusions of trying out a system that I've heard a lot about for this called Signal Wire. Has anyone heard Signal Wire or had any experience with it before?
I haven't used it.
I am attending an event this Saturday night for the first time via Signal Wire, and I'm going to use it as sort of a test case to see if it's any easier or would provide us any benefit, because I know that there's some Rotarians who really hate WebEx. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I was on Zoom on Wednesday night and had problems with audio there too. Some people come in loud and clear, and some people come in garbled.
bet.
So I don't know if there's just because there's more people on the systems now.
Well, they say
It doesn't just seem as related to WebEx.
Computers is really bad. We have
You're absolutely right, Jack.
What's wrong with Zoom? Zoom is so easy, and it always works.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't always work.
It doesn't always work for me.
Right. And for every person it seems to work for, you get another person who says it doesn't. So all this stuff stinks. You know, I just can't wait till we're back to not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
True.
That may not be till 2021 or later.
Probably won't be. Numerous members of this club which will have received vaccinations by, say, the end of January. I'll be high on the list.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be first in line. I'm tired of this.
Me too.
You
I
can't
want to get it before my immunities run out.
You're not 65, Holly, so you're going to be at the end of the line.
I'm 61 though. Holy crap.
Oh,
And,
baby.
you got a long way to go.
I'm going to go ahead and mute everyone right now. The time is now 12:15. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Ringing it out a bottle of champagne. Someday that's going to break. Ooh, that didn't sound good, definitely. Going to call the meeting to order, and I'm going to think we have a good meeting today. It is Friday, December 4th, 2020, the 22nd meeting of our Rotary year. Thanks to everyone who went to the meeting with our Bloomingdale Club last week. Thought that was a lot of fun. I think we got a great meeting. We got Robert Jameson from Child Health talk to do the Queen of Hearts again. Thank you, Tom Ghost, and have some fun. And I think we got some great news to share from some Rotarians who've done a lot of good in the past week. So in the past couple of weeks. So some cool updates to share there. We're going to start it like we always do, though, with the Pledge of Allegiance. If I could please ask Gene Schlinkman, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge of allegiance to the flag
Stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And Barry Christian, would you mind unmuting yourself and leading us in the full way pact, in the way I interact with others? Personal accountability with courage and truth.
First, I will have the courage to tell the whole truth. I will be kind in the way I tell it. I will be fair and not seek selfish advantage, and I'll have an open heart and an open mind.
Beautiful, beautiful rendition today. Thank you, everyone. And I was hoping we could go around and introduce the guests that we have. Mary Jo, would you mind introducing your guests at the club today? Mary Jo, you're on mute, sorry.
Hi, everybody. I want to introduce Josh Binder. He is, or is it Binder or Binder?
It's Binder, but I respond to both.
Binder. He's the new executive director of Gigi's Playhouse Hoffman Estates. He is going to bring the Hoffman Estates Playhouse into the 21st century, we hope. He is not shy about the Rotary. I guess he's third generation. His father and his grandfather are both Rotarians, and his two children, a 1-year-old and a 1-year-old little girl and an 8-year-old little boy, right?
Yep.
And they are both fellows, correct? Or sorry,
honorary fellows. Yes.
Maybe Josh, you can tell us.
Yeah, sure. No, yeah. Both.
So Josh is going to be. So Josh is going to be representing Gigi since I no longer am able to work because of my daughter's e-learning. So he is taking over for the Gigi's membership.
Thank you so much, and it's wonderful to see you here. Welcome.
Thank you all. I'm really excited to be joining you all. Like Mary Jo said, I have a lot of memories in my youth attending Noon Rotary out in Sterling, Illinois with my dad and grandfather. So really have a deep appreciation for all the work you guys do, and excited to be able to join you, bring my perspective, and hopefully be able to share things with Gigi's as we go along as well. So thank you.
It's great, Josh. And welcome. It's great to have another third generation Rotarian in the I had to say it. I'm sorry. Sorry, someone's at my office door. This is what happens sometimes. Live TV, it's the way it goes sometimes, guys. With that, we've introduced our guests, and of course, we also have our guest speaker today, Robert Jameson from Child Health. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. So I've got some good news to share with you guys that I found over the past week. One of them came from a fellow Rotarian. Thank you to Eileen Higginbotham who sent me this one. An Australian family found a koala in their Christmas tree. That was pretty incredible. And they called to get the thing rescued, and the rescue people thought it was a prank. Sorry, pennies click. Lots of technical difficulties today. My apologies, guys. So pretty cool. An Australian family found a koala in there, and they said that he was just trying to get the Christmas spirit. But yeah, that's something you don't expect to find in your Christmas tree. And Christmas trees really look different in Australia, I'll say. That was it. Second good news story of the week. Marines rushed to help a woman pinned underneath a car in Washington, D.C. A couple of Marines who saw a car accident, saw a woman was pinned in her car, rushed and themselves used jacks and their own strength to get the woman out of this car. And the rescuers said that the woman wouldn't have made it out if not for the help of those Marines. So I thought that was pretty cool. The third good news story of the week, I'll ask you to just indulge me. I had a conversation, I made a joke at our last board meeting that Ernie, who is my airplane friend in the club, I don't share any news stories about airplanes because Ernie's hasn't been joining us lately. One of the other board members spoke up and said, "Yeah, I'd love to hear some stories about planes." So that gave me a lot of confidence, and it's with that confidence that I share with you a story that I read over the Thanksgiving holiday that is truly incredible, and I'm going to take this much time with it and do it as fast as I can. But this is the incredible story about a British Chinook helicopter named Bravo November. It's the serial number of this plane. This amazing Chinook helicopter refused to die. Different crews flying this one, you could see BN, Bravo November on the table right here, have won 4 distinguished flying crosses between them, all the way from 1982, and the last one was won in 2010. So I thought that this was pretty incredible, and I'll just talk about it really quickly. Anyone know when the Falklands War started? Anyone can name it? 1982. So in 1980, Britain was delivered 5 of these Chinook helicopters. And in 1982, the Falklands War broke out, and they wanted to ship these things down there to Ascension Island to use them in the war effort. So they packed them on this particular boat called the Atlantic Conveyor, shipped them all in parts, all 5 of them down there. They were going to assemble them on the boat, fly them off of the boat so it can go do its thing. They did that. Bravo November was the first one to be assembled. It flew off of the plane, and just off of the boat, a missile from an Argentine jet came in and sunk that boat, sunk all 4 of the rest of their Chinooks and all the spare parts. So now in the Falklands War, the Royal Marines, the Royal Navy, only had 1 Chinook helicopter to do all of the work and none of the parts. So it did its job and ran 2 air crews going all the way around the clock the entire time with parts going unserviceable. And in one night, if you can imagine when you're driving in blinding snow and you turn your brights on, you can't see anything. That's what these guys were flying through one night on the way back. And they lost power. They descended 100 feet and hit a river bottom, a shallow river. And water got kicked up into the blades, and they lost power, and it took the combined strength of both the pilot and the co-pilot to pull this thing out of the water. They won the Distinguished Flying Cross for that and saving that aircraft. All the way up into the 2000s, in 2003 and 2006, it won its members of the Distinguished Flying Cross for wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and flying people out of firefights there. And in 2010, the 4th Distinguished Flying Cross, a Royal Air Force lieutenant was shot in the head while flying this plane and still flew out 40 Marines out of a firefight and won the Distinguished Flying Cross. It made me think of if a horse had carried numerous warriors into different battles and won them numerous awards, what might you say about the bravery of that horse? Really got me thinking about a really cool story this week, and I just thought I'd share that one with you. I hope that wasn't too much. With that, let's open it up to Happy Dollars this week. Does anyone have any Happy Dollars to share with us? Anything that happened in the last 2 weeks to make you happy? Mary Jo, go ahead. Mary Jo, go ahead.
Well, I am very grateful. My mother is on the road to recovery. She had major back surgery. I had to go to Florida to help her out and get things organized, but she is on the mend. Going to be another couple months, but she's on them and doing better. So I have 5 Happy Dollars for that.
That's great to hear, Mary Jo. That's wonderful. Let's go Eileen and then Lauren Childers. Go ahead, Eileen. And you're muted, Eileen. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I have 5 Happy Dollars for Lauren. Thank you, Lauren Chilvers. She's done an outstanding job on not only this added fishing well money that we're putting out, but the ACE 2 grant. She's just doing amazing work. And just so you all know, by us putting this extra $25,000 into fishing well this year, we're looking at, I think, around 14 students, some additional students, Lauren. And she has had to do interviews and sort through about 60 additional applications winnow that down for us. So it's one thing for us to make the money available, but boy, it puts a lot of extra work on Lauren. And thank you, Lauren. You've done an outstanding job. And thank you to Jim Fabrini, Mike Erickson, and Nancy, who are going to do the interviews. I think in the next few days. Lauren needs them by the 10th. So, and I'm putting out a plea. Please, we need more mentors, and you're going to be hearing from Roger. If you are a mentor and you would consider taking another student, please let Roger know. And if you are a mentor who would reach out to a new member and explain to them how important it is and how easy it is to do, please let Roger know that, because with the added students, we need the mentors. And this is for the January semester, which we've never done before. So we're adding a lot more students this year. Thank you, Lauren, for all your work.
Thank you, Lauren. Continuing to club, really, really proud. That's just incredible to hear. And thank you, Eileen, for sharing it with us. Let's go Lauren, and then Jean, and then I see you, Glenn.
I also have $5 happy dollars. Eileen recommended Glow Yoga to me, so I did. I took them up on their site for Monday. So I've been doing lots of yoga to get through. We have 14 candidates for Fishing Well, and it's just been really humbling hearing how COVID has affected people. We're hearing people with housing insecurity, people behind on their rent, people with job loss. So if this scholarship coming in, we've had a great relationship with the Radiologic Technology Program, and I'm happy to report that that program has a 100% pass rate for their exam to get into the field. So that all those students that we supported all passed that final exam, and they're out into the workforce on living wages. We have 46 students we're calling in for ACE interviews, and just another group that really is excited to take the opportunity and move forward with it. I made about a 10-minute video explaining the whole all. Just really humbled that the Rotary is there for them and supporting them, and they're ready to be part of the community, accelerate our economy and also community service. So those are my happy.
Very nice, Lauren. And so I'm also going to sing your praises because you found 6 applicants for ACE. And so we'll finish the original ACE grant this December with the graduates of those 6 and a few more that we signed on the beginning of this fall semester. So ACE 1 will have had 30 recipients receive that. So again, outstanding job, as Eileen has said. I'm also very happy. Vicki and I made it here to Florida, so we've been here for about 2 weeks, and we're settling very nicely, along with our 2 cats who made the trip. So we're doing well. Thank you.
Great, good, Jean.
Wonderful, Jean. That's wonderful, Jean. We'll go and then Cronwall.
Thank you. We all know that Jack celebrated 50 years in Rotary a couple months ago. Well, this coming Tuesday, we have a Rotarian in the Glencoe Club who will celebrate 70 years as a Rotarian.
Oh my God.
Quick math, it's he was probably a senior exempt for the last 3 decades. He joined Rotary on December 9th, 1951. 9 years old. I'd like to put his name, his email address, his home address in the chat, and anyone that wants to send him a card, and I hope we all do, send him a card, say congratulations, way to be a Rotarian, and I just think that's a great story.
That's excellent, excellent news, and thanks for sharing it, Glenn. That's awesome. Let's all see what we can do and make him special. That's awesome. Years in Rotary. Go ahead, Pat Grunwald. Thank you, Pat. I'm sorry. I don't know if it was just me. Some audio troubles that time, but most of your message came. Appreciate that.
The Chipmunks Christmas came early this year.
Oh. Go ahead, Roger. And I see Steve Lamp too. Sorry, Steve, I didn't see you before. Let's go, Roger and Steve.
2 or 3 things happy dollars for. We'll say $10 all in. Number one, thanks to the club for everybody pitching in for the Toys for Test Drive that we did jointly with the Bloomingdale Club. I appreciate it. A special shout out to Bill Kelly, who helped me buy toys and transport them to the Bloomingdale Golf Club. And I'm not sure if anyone remembers, but in the email I put out to the club, I said, whoever gathers the most toys, that I would put $100 in as a Paul Harris donation in their name. So I'm happy to do that in the name of Glenn Garlick. So thanks, Glenn, for your participation in the Toys for Tots Drive. And then I have a happy/sad dollar, but mostly happy. My grandfather's twin, my great aunt Wilma, died yesterday. She's 2 months short of her 104th birthday. So it was a good run.
104.
Incredible. So her older sister passed away 2 Novembers ago at 105, so she didn't quite break the record of the family.
That's amazing.
Great genes. That's great genes right there. That's pretty incredible. All right. Steve Lamp.
So I've got 100 happy dollars.
Oh!
On Monday, Natalie Josephine, my second granddaughter, was born. And so for the rest of the meeting, I'm going to enjoy a little bourbon and light my cigar, finally. Natalie Josephine.
Steve.
And everyone's doing well.
What kind of there?
Got a little Breckenridge. What do I got?
Yes. Oh, he's going to Colorado. You know he's going with the Colorado whiskeys. Yeah. That's great, Steve. Congratulations, my friend. Anything else happy out there today?
I am.
I'm just trying to see if it's
hear me?
Holly. Yep. Holly and I can. Go ahead. Don Miner. We'll go Don and then Holly.
Me first? I don't know
Go
if
ahead,
any
Don.
of you have noticed. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but I've not been around much lately. Was involved with a family crisis. My Jan's mom had a severe brain bleed and heart attack about 2.5 months ago. And we thought we had lost her. In fact, we gave her even last rites, but she bounced back and she is on the mend and she looks like she's going to make a full recovery, we hope. So it's an incredible thing for us and we're very pleased about that. So I would like to donate 20 happy dollars in that vein. And I also would like to say that I'm back for a while, I think, and we'll see if I can participate a little more actively. So,
Don, you could see the smiles on all the faces of the members. What an incredible story, and we're certainly glad to have you back. That's out right there.
Glad to be back.
Holly Fath. Not hear you yet, Holly. You're still. I just sent a request to you to unmute yourself.
Unmute me.
There you go.
Okay. I love it when it works. No, I was just saying that I certainly did notice that Don Miner wasn't around, and it's nice to have you back, Don Miner. And I'm going to give 10 happy dollars just because it's just, I love my Rotary community so much. I just have to tell you how enriching this is to my life. And anyway, that's it. $10.
Holly, I'm with you, Holly, and thank you. I've been sitting here thinking as we've had more happy dollars than I think any other meeting we've ever had. I could do this all day, just listen to the reasons why everyone's happy and good things that happen in all your lives. It's really wonderful to see. So brought great stories today. What to club announcements and club business, unless I missed someone. Did I miss anyone? Oh, Julie Clark, I'm so sorry if I missed you.
That's okay. I'm sorry. I was late getting in, but I wanted to just give a shout out and happy $10 to Tom Ghosh, who has secured an MC for our classic this year. We are fortunate enough to have Natalie Martinez from NBC5 going to be our MC this year. So we're very excited about that. And thank you very much, Tom.
Goosebumps.
Nice.
Gives me goosebumps. How cool is that? Great job, Tom. Great job, Julie. It's going to be a lot. All right. Moving on to club business and announcements. Anyone who has anything. I know that Nancy Redmond has something to talk about, and I wanted to ask Eileen to give us an update on HEC and POC when you get a chance. So, Bill, I'm so sorry I missed you, my friend. I didn't see you. Sorry.
Don and Nancy.
Bill, say it one more time. We had just an issue. Go ahead and say it.
It's $50. This is their 50th wedding anniversary.
50th anniversary.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow.
Wes, my
Incredible.
update
Incredible.
won't be HEC PLC. That'll be Don and Nancy. But I have something else that I need to update everyone on. So do you want Don and Nancy? You guys want to go ahead?
Sure. Nancy, you ready to go?
Nancy, I think you might be muted. I saw this year, Merriam-Webster, they said that one of the words they were considering for word of the year was unmute, and I doth concur right now.
Okay, how about, is it good now?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, well, I want to share my own good news story from this week. And as you know, as part of our community service, we adopt a family during the holiday time. And it's been unusual this year because I call upon some elves from the club and we shop and we wrap and we have fellowship. And this year I had to take it upon myself to shop and wrap. And then I called our Lisa Crockett to come and do the finishing touches. She is an excellent bow maker, in case anybody wants to know. So we have all the presents ready for our adopted family, and I know it's going to bring many smiles and gratitude from them. It's always such a good feeling, and there's our presents that we wrapped, and it's always such a good feeling from the heart to know we're doing something special for those that are less fortunate. So it's my feel-good story of the week.
Thank you, Nancy, and how blessed family be.
And let's give a hand to Lisa because she made them so beautiful.
Holly did the same thing for Schaumburg. Holly and her friends adopted a family, which has allowed us to use the Schaumburg money to go toward the HEC POC, which Nancy and Don will tell you about. So thank you, Holly, for your generosity and for taking care of one of the Schaumburg families. That was wonderful. And Don and Nancy now have the HEC POC story.
Wait, can I just say something else? Our family we got from actually the Schaumburg Township last year. Did I tell this? Last year we couldn't because they had too many volunteers and they ran out of families. And then a mile down the street, the Illinois Home and Aid Department, Children's Home and Aid thing, they had families but not enough donors. So it's like, how come these people are not communicating? I don't know the answer to that. But so I was going to go straight to the Illinois Home and Aid this year, get a family straight from there. And I went there and they said, oh no, they're not doing it because of COVID. And I'm like, oh my God, but what, these families are still needy. They're like the neediest of needy. And she said, we're taking gift cards instead. So long story longer, I actually went back to the township and I did get a family, a single mom with 2 teenagers. My friends were all, and I'm going to give them a $100 gift card from Walmart too. Got all of their list, everything. We're all going to wrap on Monday and then deliver it. But I did, for my birthday, I had my family. I said, I don't want anything. What I want is $50 gift cards. to bring to the Illinois Lemonade. So that, they said, I said, how do you decide who gets them if however many you end up with? They said, well, we just go from the neediest families first and we just address them as we can. So anyway, I have like $300 in $50 gift cards from Walmart that I'll just say it's on behalf of the Rotary Club, but it's just my personal thing because I wanted nothing more for my birthday than to help these families. But if anybody else is feeling it, if I'm going to bring it probably on Monday, if anybody else wants to contribute a $50 gift card also for these families, they're not getting any, no adoptions at all because of COVID. They're not doing it, but they are very needy folks. So just throwing that out there. If anybody would like to do that, they can Venmo me the money or drop off a gift card at my house, whatever anybody wants to do.
You might
Thanks,
since you
Holly.
to shoot an email about that. I think it's a great idea, and thank you for what you're doing.
Okay.
Okay, on to Nancy and Don.
Okay, Don.
Where's Don?
Where is Don?
Right here.
Don.
Okay.
Sitting on my home. My turn. All right. Well, I hope everyone's had a chance to read the email that was sent out by the Adopt a Family Committee. As you might remember, last year we started this project at our Christmas party by requesting of the club to maybe donate some money to take a look at supporting families from the HEC. And there's probably 40 or 50 families that will be involved again this year. And of course, this year is going to have a lot more need to it than in the past because of the pandemic and issues that are associated with that. And I want to thank Nancy and Eileen for bringing this program to a little more focus with me in my life. I know last year I was able to donate some monies personally to the project in lieu of Christmas gifts for my oldest daughter and my son. And because of the stories that came out of that project last year, they requested again that I do it again this year. And in addition to that, I got a call from my grandkids and said that they were impressed with the stories that we received from HEC last year. And they asked that I do the same for the monies that we would normally spend for their Christmas presents to give to this project in addition to their parents. And not only that, they decided, both sets of grandkids, one in Colorado, one in Batavia, they are sending me a check for $150 from the two of my grandkids each to donate to the cause, which I'm so impressed with that. And my son even feels that the understanding that they're getting from an early age of understanding and recognizing how fortunate they are and how good it feels to support those that are less fortunate is one of the best lessons that they can ever have, especially at a Christmas time, with understanding what giving is really about. So in their names, I'm donating $1,500 to this cause.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And, well,
Okay.
it made my Christmas shopping a lot easier, I'll tell you that.
You're going to give the foundation a challenge then, because the foundation is matching the money that the club raises, so foundation, no, we're putting the pressure on here. So
Well, I'm
Don,
happy
your
to do it.
1,500. Tell your family your 1,500 is now worth $3,000.
Wow, that's great. That's
That
just
is
really good.
outstanding.
And I talked to Terry Kelly this morning, and she promised that after we deliver, I'm assuming it's going to be cash cards, that she will gather stories again from the families that are impacted, and we'll be able to circulate them among club members that are involved, as well as I can't wait to get those responses to my grandkids. I think they'll love that piece as well. So.
And Nancy is going to purchase all of the cards once we know how much money we have, right, Nancy? Oops, I think you're on mute. Go ahead. I can't hear you.
Nancy.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. When I talked to Terry, she said that they really have between 40 and 50 people, and that's how many gift cards we would like to do. Last year, we were able to buy gift cards in the amount of $120 a piece for, I think it was between 25 and 30 families. So the need is definitely greater this year. So let's reach into our wallets and spread a little Christmas cheer. We all have so much, and there's people who have nothing, so.
And thank you to Tom and Gary for getting the link set up again for us. The link for donations will be active this week. It's active right now. And then for next week. And if you can do $20, if you can do 200, whatever you can do. And if you follow Don's lead, maybe involve some other folks in your family that you're wondering what to do for Christmas. If we can come up with similar funds that we did with Shop with a Cop, we can knock this right out of the ballpark for these folks. And thank you all so much. Nancy and Don, anything else on the program for you?
No, I'm good.
What, Rosemary has her hand up.
Yeah, I'd like to suggest anybody who would have been planning to go to our holiday party. We're not having that this year because of the COVID situation. Maybe put whatever you were going to spend going to the holiday party, which I think was $60 or $65 a piece, put that towards this program. Just a suggestion.
Great idea.
Great idea.
Wonderful idea, Rosemary. So, and I did in the email that you received, HEC is the Higgins Educational Center, and then the PLC is Partners for Our Community. And Partners for Our Community runs the Higgins Educational Center. And it's a wonderful resource center for people in our community. And they deal with many of the lowest in, income and at most vulnerable of our residents. So anything you can do would be very, very much appreciated.
I see Pat's.
I can't hear. Right after the regular meeting?
For those of you, Pat, I don't know what's going on. Sorry, we're having your audio doesn't play and it plays all your words really, really fast all at once. Didn't hear Pat. Next week, Friday, after the meeting, there's going to be a meeting of the past presidents committee. I don't exactly. And then the following, the 18th Friday, we're going to have a club assembly as well. Pat, did I accurately describe? And again, guys, sorry about the audio issues we're having today.
And Wes, I have one more community service announcement. Okay. Just to update you all, this quarter is typically the busiest of the whole year for community service, as you can tell by the conversation today. So we've gotten our Shop with a Cop completed very successfully. Thank you, Jean, for leading that, and with your other folks, and to the club for supporting it. Our event has grown for Toys with Tots that Roger has spearheaded. That's done, very successful. We're in the process now of wrapping up this Adopt a Family, which has also, we've adopted HEC POC into Adopt a Family. The one other piece that actually, I was just on the phone with Joe Podlasik from the Trickster relative to the Veterans Dinner, the Veterans Gathering. It's going to be very different this year, as you would all imagine, but Chandler's is going to be providing the food. People will be driving up to Chandler's. All meals will be individually prepackaged along with desserts so that no one will be handling the food except properly trained food handling personnel at Chandler's. We may have a chance for some Rotarians to help run food from the kitchen down to the cars. I don't know. Joe's working on his volunteers, but at the least we can put some Rotary banners up and things there under their porte-cochere. I will keep you posted on that, but it was getting close to the wire as to whether or not Joe was going to be able to pull it all off. So we're going to go with trying to feed 200 this year, and that we got a price of $7 a person, including all the new plastic containers and everything from Chandler's, which is a phenomenal price for a full turkey dinner and dessert. So if we go with 200 and our budget is 19, that's 1,400. What I would like to do, and I just like a show of hands, I know this is not the normal way to do it, but I don't have time to go back for a community service committee meeting. And so the whole club would just vote. Request is that the balance of that money, we have let Joe use that to buy some gifts and things that would go in with the meals to especially the homebound veterans. In the past, what we've done puzzle books and things like that that went in the food deliveries we were doing earlier this year. But that would leave $400 to $500 in the budget that he could do a few things for the 40 or 50 that we know are homebound that they interact with regularly. So I'd like to see, are you guys good with just doing a show of hands from the club?
Eileen, I think you have the Eileen, I think you have discretion to make that decision yourself. If you wanted to show support, I think that's.
I think I'd rather have the club vote on it because it's $500 and that's at the top end of our discretionary approval. So how do you guys feel about it? Let them have the money so they can get some gifts to the veterans?
I might add, I'm someone who dissents to that. If you could just make yourself known, because it appears that everyone is in agreement. But if you aren't,
okay, then I will move to take care of it. It looks like we have enough people. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
That's it.
It is time then. See other announcements unless I see any more. And thank you guys. This has been a really fun meeting today. We got a lot of stuff done. We got about 15 minutes until our speaker starts. We got two things to do. We have a Queen of Hearts and our Fine Master. And I was wondering, Tom Ghosh, are you ready with the hearts?
Yes, I am. So these are all of the, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
These are all the people that signed up, that paid. I closed it off at 10 a.m. this morning. They are all in. There's a lot more than there was last time. And you'll see that I'm shuffling. The names are all there, and hopefully you'll hear it.
That's great, Tom.
And we got Michael. So, is Michael even on the call today? If you are, speak up.
I did not see him.
You didn't see him. All right. Well, in that case, we get to use our new rule of the lowest number available, which is number 1.
All right.
And I've got my hammer and my chisel, and I'm ready to cut this away. So, here we go. While I'm cutting, I'll tell you that. I know, it's kind of fun. While I'm cutting it, if you can please note that if you're having trouble with the links that I'm putting in the chat, they're turning blue for me. So you can copy and paste them. Highlight the whole thing, copy and paste, and then you should be able to find it. And let's see if you can see the Ace of Clubs is the official card, and I believe that makes Mike Olak an official loser. But at least he won in a little bit. There you go. See that? I'll take notes in our journal. And then last thing is we mentioned the next board. It's all set except for one. I'm just waiting for confirmation from one person. So we've got an exciting board coming up. I will be sending an email to all Rotarians. What I'd like to know is what each of you do for the Rotary. For instance, this came up while we were talking. Roger Smith is in charge of mentors for the fishing well, and nowhere does it say anything like that. So I'm looking for that kind of thing. I always do whatever it is that you do every year, and it's kind of your official job, because some of those go under certain things. I want to make sure that everybody's covered and that nobody is tired of doing certain things that they're already doing. So that'll be an email next week. I'm just explaining it now because I might not explain it written wise. So
Ready for from Eileen.
Hey,
sounds good. All right.
on Queen of Hearts.
What's
Question
that?
on Queen of Hearts. I have a question on Queen of Hearts. So I signed up
Yes.
for a monthly instead of a one at a time.
Let me address that.
Okay.
When I created this link, it allows me to say, let somebody subscribe to this, and how often will the subscription renew? I only put it, I mistakenly put it as monthly instead of weekly. The link that I will that subscription for you. Next week, the link will be, and where you can just pay once and forget it, and your name will be up there. So with that, it was too late to correct it by the time the email had already gone out.
So you're gonna get rid of the one that I sent in late, and I can redo it, and it'll be weekly.
Correct. And with my apologies for messing that up this week.
Also, Gail,
Just
you were on there. Gail, you were in there twice. I'm assuming the second one with more money was for the group of you. So I labeled that differently. So if it came up Gail, then and bought two, that would have been the big group. If it would have came up Gail, then it would have been you. So just letting you know, I'm on it. I see it. I'm smart.
Your intention, Gail. Nice job, both of you. All right, cool. We're figuring this thing out, everyone. This is wonderful. Nice job, Tom. And I love your hat today. Let's go over then to our fine master this week, who is filling in for the very busy Alan Gabe, Mr. George Fanopoulos.
Yay! Can everyone hear me?
Yes. Hey, George.
All right, so to all our guests, I'm the fine master. That means I can fine anyone any amount of money I feel like for any reason, but really it's just to have a little fun and to give the money back to the community. So it's all good. So today our cap is $5 and each fine's going to be $1 unless otherwise noted. If you're not wearing a pin today, which I'm not because I have all my Rotary pins in my car in anticipation of driving to the meeting and being prepared. So it's not in my office. I don't have a pin on me. However, I have plaques on my wall. You could see them right there. So if you have anything visually on display or underwear, anything, I don't care. So if you have something with Rotary, you don't have to pay anything. Otherwise, it's $1.
A pin.
Looking at one of my plaques, I noticed that I was Rotarian of the Year. Anyone who has not been Rotarian of the Year, pay $1. Thank you very much. Oh, anyone whose birthday is not today, like me and Gail, pay $1. That's right. I was asked to do this on my birthday. I'm a little aggravated, but that's right. I'll get over it. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Classic again this week because I just can't talk about it enough. It's so fun, and I know everyone is really excited about it. That is our largest fundraiser of the year for our guests. It takes place every year in March, and this year it's going to be a virtual event. It's going to be fantastic. And so I just wanted to go over some things. So one announcement has not been made yet. I decided on Monday, after we created the sponsor sheet that everybody has received already, that I am going to stop shaving until our Classic sponsorship goal is met. So now this may not seem like a big deal to anyone. I don't know if you can see my face. I don't know how long any of this hair is yet, but I have never grown a beard or a mustache in my life. So it's going to be really annoying. It's already scratchy. And I don't dare put a wool sweater over my head because I know that'll rip my
So this
face
is a
off.
fundraiser for Trish in the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. And as a show of unity, Julie Clark said she will stop shaving her legs, which acts as a weekly reminder of our achievements. So, that should be good. Okay, so if you have not sponsored Classic 2021 yet, you can pay $1. And so far, Bill Kelly and Royal Hartwig are the only ones, so as far as I know. So everybody should be paying $1 on that one. If you didn't contact Julie or I, who are the Classic chairs, to volunteer to help with the Classic, and Pat Grunwald is the only one I know of that did that, please pay $1. If you've won any amount of money in past Classics, not just from the grand prize drawing, not just the 10,000, but even the smaller amounts, pay $1. Let's see. Oh, if you have one of Jim Fabrini's glass centerpieces, I really love those. If you have any of those in your house from past Classics, you can pay $1 for that too, because I don't have one. If you wear a tuxedo or an evening gown more than 3 times a year, I feel really bad for you, but pay $1. Oh, so if you've decided to take any of your 1969 themed clothing from this year's Classic and incorporated it into your daily wardrobe, please pay $1. I don't know if this has nothing to do with the Classic, but I've heard this commercial twice now, and it really creeps me out. On the radio, on sports radio, there's a really creepy pajamagram commercial with a male voiceover who's describing these new pajamas for your significant other. And it is the creepiest thing I've ever heard. If you hear it, you'll know what I'm talking about. So anyway, if you had anything to do with making that commercial, pay $5 because it's just like the worst thing I've ever heard. All right, so as a reminder, the Classic is Saturday, March 13th on your favorite virtual device. If you didn't pay a fine today, or if I didn't fine you enough, or you just feel like you should give more, pay another $1 or something. And I forgot, if you are a Green Bay Packers fan, then I congratulate you for cheering on a professional, well-run organization that knows what the hell football is, unlike the Bears. I'm out.
Thank you, George.
Mic drop.
Very fast. And around for Bob Fleischer. There, Bob is. Bob, can I ask you to so you may introduce speaker this week. There we go. I can't hear you, unfortunately, Bob. I think there's some. I will take over then and introduce our this week, who is to help in here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Can everybody hear me? Awesome. I have to, it's really hard to try to follow up after George. I mean, that just made my whole day. I can't imagine going that long without shaving, and for Julie to actually go in halves with him. I hope y'all meet your goal really soon.
That was the commitment of this club, Robert.
That is amazing. It's great meeting, and I'm honored to be here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Child Help. Child Help is one of the oldest, largest nonprofits in the United States dealing with child abuse and neglect. The two founders were actually actresses. They were actually on the Ozzie and Harriet TV show. That was actually one of, I lived in Germany in the 70s, and when we got back in the 80s and cable came out, that was actually one of the shows I watched. So I was it's amazing that something I grew up on is actually I'm working with the ladies from there. Child Help is committed to actually help kids get out of their abusive situations, where we actually do prevention, intervention, as well as treatment for kids. What we like to do is our main goal is try to make it as simple as possible for kids to have to actually report abuse and make it to where they don't have to go through multiple services to do that. We have two advocacy centers, one in Phoenix, Arizona, and one in Knoxville, Tennessee, that we're actually trying to get to have the whole country go to. And what their locations have is they have the crimes unit against kids in one building. They have social services in in the same building, along with the Child Protective Services, which is DCFS, which is here, as well as the Children's Hospital. So they can actually record everything at one time, so a child doesn't have to go to multiple locations to tell their story again. What we are looking to do is we just helped our 11th million child last year, and we're trying to get it to where we can actually work with multiple cities to where we can actually have that as like a home base for the services. We have two ways that we can help. What we do here, I'm not sure if any of y'all heard about the baby AJ situation. That situation is what actually brought me here to Illinois from Arizona, where the charity is based at. We want to get it to where it is easy to where people can deal with the awareness and how we can teach it to where it can be reported. We have a hotline, which is our 1-800-4-CHILD hotline. It actually just became part of the national hotline, the consoleness of the national hotline like a year and a half ago. Sorry, this is my very first time talking over actual meeting instead of talking in front of people.
No problem, Robert. You're doing great, man.
So what we're looking to do is get that. Actually, it gets a call every 10 seconds. It has master's degree counselors on the other end or higher, to where they can actually do resources, whether they report the actual child abuse, whether they give counseling to the child or actually to a parent at that certain time. It's 365 days at 24 hours a day. It's what it does is if they need to actually call child services or if they need to call the police department, they can do it, and it's actually virtual to where it's in every city everywhere. What it's done for us since we've gotten here in Illinois, Illinois actually had 3,089 kids that was helped before we actually got here. I myself have been here almost 2 years. That number is now at 13,086 kids. So we are actually trying to work with the schools as well, where we have a Speak Up, Be Safe program, as well as our supply drive. Okay. Any questions so far?
I had 11 million. That's a lot on that. That's a lot.
Thank you. So I don't know if anybody's heard of Jenna Quinn. Jenna Quinn is actually an adult survivor. who has actually came into the program with us, and she is now a spokesperson for child abuse. So she actually, one of the things that she is taking over is Child Help's been around since 1959, and they've actually worked with Congress on every law dealing with child abuse. She is actually taking over that. This is your first year because of the COVID situation that we didn't get to go to go to Congress this year, to go to DC. So she's going to be taking over that for Sarah and Yvonne, the two founders of the charity. So we're looking forward to moving through. We're starting to work with military personnel more. We're working with K-5 to 5th grade on our Speak Up, Be Safe program, as well as we also opened up 2 villages. One is in California, one is actually in Virginia, to where the children that have been in multiple foster homes, we're actually moving them to where we can actually start schools for them to get them back into society before they actually leave the program.
That's great.
Okay.
Anybody who watched the Queen's Gambit in the last week or two knows what those orphans and kids go through. It's really see a highlighting of that.
Yes. Now, the 1-800 for a Child is a valuable resource for media outlets. Dr. Phil actually ran a segment on it as well. So we're looking forward to moving into the future, doing a lot more things. I didn't think myself personally that it was that bad of a situation. And as I got into the business, I've just watched how bullying, human trafficking, and everything all ties into one. It all starts with child abuse. Yeah, and it seemed like with everything that's going on, more people are having mental health issues. More people are actually dealing with it and not getting any services to help. So one of the ways, what I'd like to do is put up our website to where you guys can actually get some more information on it. So we actually put up our supply drive where if anybody wants to help out, they can actually do a little resources as well, or do a little research as well.
Robert, what's the name of the website?
The website is childhelp.org. Okay. And if anybody wants to actually help out, it's childhelp.org /supply drive. It will actually bring you up to a page that has our monthly hotline donor, as well as our toy supply drive. You will need a code for that. The code will actually be RJ68085.
Can you repeat that code again?
The code is capital R, capital J, 68085. If you actually go into supply drive, you can see what our supply drive is we actually give kids that are leaving their homes going into foster care a backpack, because normally all they have is like the stuff they have on their back, or they actually have a trash bag. So we actually give them a backpack and we fill it up with toys, clothes, shoes, hygiene products, anything that's going to help them feel a little bit more comfortable going in.
Hi, Jovin's keys.
If I could add to your comment, I'm a social worker, and I just wanted to say this one thing that I was working with this young girl, and she was being removed from a pretty bad situation, and we handed her a garbage bag, and she goes, well, I feel like garbage. I've been told I'm garbage. Now my life is in a garbage bag.
Yeah.
It's a pretty, you have no idea what the simple thing like a backpack could do for these kids.
It definitely a little bit better. And one of the things that the hotline does for them is if you actually were to call that, those counselors that can put them in a better mood, not only with counseling, but they can actually give them resources as well.
That's great. Thank you for saying that.
And if you guys didn't notice, the link is in the chat along with his code.
Okay. Yes.
All right.
Now, you actually go to the supply drive on there. It actually has stuff that we actually give kids when they go in there. We just got our new supplies for next year, and next year is going to have like sleeping bags. It's going to have where it has the unicorn pillow. We actually have a panda bear one for next year as well.
So I'm going to put up the website right now, the childhelp.org/supply drive. Everyone can see it here. There's a monthly hotline donor, and you can see what you just described there, Robert.
Thank you. Now we do have what we call the Hero Challenge, and it's the 5 too many. The reason we actually have those is because 5 kids do pass away from abuse and neglect every day. One of the things that we just got, hold on a second. Where did I put it? I was going to show you one of my nice little masks. We just have a mask that has the actual hotline in it. But
hey, Robert, just so you know, we can't see your video. We can only hear you.
okay, I'm sorry. It looks like I can see. But with COVID, everybody's wearing these masks now. So we actually have the mask for the 1-800-4-CHILD hotline as well. Does anybody have any questions about the charity or how to get resources from them? Or is there any way that we can help with the community to help you guys?
I have a question, Robert.
Yes.
Have you done any work with the children's advocacy centers here in Illinois?
I haven't. I just the one that I was talking to was actually in Waukegan.
That's one of them. Yeah, we work with the one that's in Hoffman Estates. We've done a lot with them over the years. And right now, they're in the same boat every other agency is that's providing help to abused children. They're overwhelmed with need.
Right. Now, I was just told that any of the donations that we receive, like we actually set up at places outside of like Walgreens, Walmart's, Ace Hardware's right now. We normally set up outside of restaurants, but because the restaurants closed because of COVID, that if we do drop off locations where people can drop supplies off as well, that I would keep that here and I could actually hand that out myself instead of actually having to send it to Arizona and then it comes back here.
Where are you located?
I'm in Schaumburg.
Oh, okay. Have you had interaction with Mark Parr then? He's the director of the CAC in Hoffman. They service the northwest suburbs.
I have not.
You may want to. Mark Parr is the director and could be an excellent contact for you.
Okay.
Eileen, thanks for making that connection. I think it's a good meeting.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have any questions for our speaker, Robert? I'm seeing any. So, Robert Jameson from Child Help, thank you for joining us today.
Guys, thanks for having me. You guys have a great day.
Thank you. Absolutely, will do. Could I please ask Joey Benjamin, would you unmute yourself and could you please lead us in the four-way tests of the things we think, say, and do?
Certainly. Four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill?
Will
and
it
better
build
friendships?
goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Well, thank you. And this week, everyone, I ask you to, just like every week, ensure that everyone knows that Rotary opens opportunities. Thank you, everyone.
Tom Ghost, can you stay on a minute?
Yeah, and everybody else, if you got your Queen of Hearts in after 10 a.m. today, which it looks like a couple people did, you'll be on for next week. So I think it's I kind of only remember Mary Jo, but one other person did it also after 10 a.m.
Is the fine on here too in the chat room somewhere? The link to the
Oh,
fine?
look at you getting all ahead of the ball game here. Look at you. Pointing out when I failed that one time in the last 6 months that I have failed.
He
there
got
it is
you.
for you.
I was able to do it publicly, Tom.
You can also find it in Tom's email this
Yeah.
Nancy, can you stay on? Nancy? Nancy and Don?
You
Oh,
might
good.
have gotten them too late.
Did I? Okay. I just thought I'd check in, Tom, to see if you had any idea how much was in the
Oh,
donation.
you know what? That's actually Gary, because that's the foundation thing.
Okay.
I'm just the communicant of the links. But Gary could tell you a little bit better than I can on that. Well, actually, a lot better than I can.
Because knowing that we started with roughly, well, not roughly, with $1,000, because we had 500 that the Community Service Committee approved to go toward the POC as seed money to start for the cards. And then since Holly's family and friends covered Schaumburg, we put that 500. So we started with 1,000 in that pot. And then Don put in 1,500 today. And I know I put in a couple hundred. I know a lot of other people did too. So Glenn Zergott, I think you'll be seeing we'll have a few bucks coming. I think I'm very excited about this. I think that it's going to be great numbers. I sent an email out to Tom and Wes and Glenn just to recap what I just said about where the money flow is coming from for the final check. And we'll do it next week.
We're gonna have the foundation board meeting next Friday. So,
right after, yeah.
no, not right after, right before.
It's before, okay.
Right after the president's meeting?
Total
Afterwards,
for-
it's the president's meeting.
Okay, well, we won't have the total for you until after the meeting next week, because we'll close this out after, just like we did Shop with a Cop. And then I'll go to Gary, do check requests to Gary.
And Nancy and Don are here now.
Yeah. And Tom, by the way, thank you for posting that link so I can make a contribution for that.
Tom and Gary got on things right away. It's such, I have to tell you all, it is such an incredible team effort when you see it all come together. I mean, it's been tough because, Sarah's had to step back because, it's really bothering her. But I told her not to worry. I said, your team's there and it's going to happen. And it is. And everybody just, like, I think Gail or Holly said something about her Rotary family and the things we do. Well, that's how I feel when I see these things coming together like this and everybody stepping up. It's just, that's your feel good story for the week, Wes.
How could it not? Who's walking not feeling buoyed right now.
This was a great
it really is
meeting.
wonderful.
It was a great meeting.
Yeah.
The Steve, a granddaughter, man.
And Wes, you're doing a great job. You're becoming my favorite talk show host.
I'm not I'm bogarting the so much. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I see quite a few key people that stayed on. So any questions or thoughts on how we're wrapping up the with the HEC and this big end of our community service season, really, because we won't plan anything else except really the barn January and February, so that focus is typically always on the classic the first quarter. So this is the big push. And the one thing I can tell you, Glenn Jurgot, you asked me, and I don't have an answer yet, is what's happening with the Blessings in a Backpack money. Tim Little is no longer at Schaumburg High School, and I have a harder time reaching people at Hoffman than I used to. And one of my key contacts there is gone. So I really don't have an answer yet. I know the money's there
Eileen?
and will be used.
Jim Fabrini is the youth services director, and he said he has direct lines to the schools now. He's figured it out, and they respond to him. So if you send an email or give him a call, he can get you in touch with those folks.
Okay, because Debbie Miller left Hoffman and Shane left Schaumburg, and it's like then Tim left Schaumburg. So, okay, I'll reach out to Jim on that, and then he can help. He can help make sure we get the Blessings in a Backpack money out if it's appropriate. Okay.
Hey, Eileen.
Yeah.
On another topic, I got a call about 2 weeks ago from Charlie Segura. You know Charlie.
Yeah, sure. I'm his mentor this year.
But then you probably know this. He is now a technology manager at Schaumburg High School. He got
good for him.
Wow.
Full time.
And he owes it all to the
job.
fishing. Yeah, and he owes it all to the fishing well and what we've done through the scholarship programs. And he really is incredibly thankful to Rotary. So
It's really wonderful when you see these things happening. And he's got this position, as you said, because of the fishing well. And Charlie's like a lifer. He was in our first class. And this year he graduates, and I think we gotta celebrate for him when he graduates. I mean, it's just exciting. He stayed with it 5 years, guys. At it.
Oh, wow.
That's commitment. So I will. I'll double check with Gary to see if he has any idea on numbers yet. And Don and Nancy, thank you so much for your efforts on getting this pulled together. I think we're going to end up with more than we did with Shop at the Top.
We hope so.
That's great.
Because we're already at $5,400 without counting anything else that's in there, because we had the 500 from Schaumburg, 500 from the discretionary budget, 1,500 from Don, 200 from me. I don't know what other people did. If that money is being doubled, well, actually not all that's being doubled by the foundation. Take 1,000 of that out. So right now, 1,700 is being doubled by the foundation, and we know people are putting in more. So we already, Nancy, from what I'm looking at, we're close to being able to do $100 gift certificate for 40 or 50 families.
Great. Yeah, that's great.
And that's just a preliminary. That's just a preliminary, and I got to know, and I'm sure people that are still on the call here, some of you have put money into this, so I have a feeling we're going to end up with some pretty good numbers to make a huge difference in the lives of these folks for the holidays.
I hope you'll continue to share with us the success.
Thanks for staying on. Good to see you all. Actually, today was such a good meeting.
See y'all. Bye.
Hi, thanks for everything.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Nancy.
Bye.
Nancy.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Nancy's gone.
Thank you.
Yeah.